Well, I got to give Danny Smith first because he's got to get back. He's still racing out of the quote-unquote old-timers. Hey, Danny Smith, come on out here. Hall of Famer. Hall of Shame. Hey, you're still winning, though.
Well, we haven't won for about a year, but we had a few good runs down at home the last few races, and tonight I put myself in a bad situation coming off 4, getting the white flag, got stuck in that cushion, and actually killed both laps. So we need a little luck in the heat race and go from there.
We're honoring Bert and Brigitte Emick, and you've 30-plus years of Ohio Sprint Speed Week, 40th annual this year. You've been to so many of them. Your best memories of Bert and Brigitte?
Well, Bert's always got a good joke, and I haven't heard one this weekend. But, no, Bert was always one of the guys. He was probably one of the few officials I really liked.
Present company included?
Well, you're the official announcer, so that's not so too bad. But
okay.
But we just had so much fun with Bert. He always looked after us and took good care of us, and always had a good time. Never had anything happen with Bert and Brigitte. They was always good and treated people right.
Well, good luck tonight, Danny Smith. Thank you so much for joining us up here. Good to see you back in a race car again over here at Attica Raceway Park. Danny Smith, everybody. We'll bring out Kelly Kinzer. Kelly, come on out. Kelly, you're looking good. You look like you could hop in one of these race cars and go fast again. Any desire?
No, I think that's gone.
That's gone. You ran with the All-Stars for a lot of years, Butch and Jeannie Smith's car and your own car and things like that. Fondest memories of Bert and Brigitte?
Well, just having races every weekend and created Ohio Speed Week, and they're good people, really good people.
A lot of your career was spent with the All-Stars.
Yeah, I run quite a bit of it, and always enjoyed it, and I hope it continues like it is right now.
What was your favorite memory of Speed Week?
Oh, my. All of it, I guess. I always enjoyed it, but there's a lot of work for me, but I enjoyed it, all of it.
It's kind of you and maybe one other guy working on the race car all the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd just leave Bloomington, pick up somebody along the road, come with me, and that's basically what it was.
Give him a hot dog and a T-shirt?
Yep, pretty much.
Kelly Kinzer, thank you so much for joining us here to honor Bert and Brigitte Emick. Let's see, who else? Frank Kerr, there you are, 4-time All-Star champion. Frank, we got Scott Hall up there who did all the PR work for Bert and Brigitte, and we were talking with Blake and your championships, and he tried to figure out how you and Kevin Huntley tied for a championship.
Yeah, that was pretty unbelievable that night. You know, we broke throttle linkage and wound up tying. So, but, you know, Bert and Brigitte, honestly, you know, my career wouldn't have been what it was without them. You know what I mean? They had a great series and built the All-Stars up, and it was just great to run with those guys. I mean, Bert and Brigitte, I owe them a lot.
You know, you got some great memories of Ohio Sprint Speed Week and some not so great memories. You retired after a Speed Week show.
I did. It's almost 22 years to the day, I think. It's pretty close to that. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking that day, but, you know, I miss it a lot. I miss the people. You know, I miss the dirt people, and I miss, really, honestly, we were talking with my family's up here with me, and we miss Ohio. I mean, there's no better people than Ohio people.
You know, Frank, I hear from like Kelly and Danny and some of the other people, Bert and Brigitte were family. They treated you drivers like you were their sons and daughters. I mean, you can't describe it any different than that.
No, you can't. That's what I said. I mean, I owe a lot of my career to them. You know, and I did anything I could to help the series because I knew Bert and Brigitte, they gave their life to it, and it wouldn't have been anything without them.
You know, I think you missed the driver's meeting, but Rex Lejeune brought up, he said back in the day, some tracks, the promoters, you couldn't find them when it came time to pay the purse. And Bert and Brigitte would tell the drivers, come to our T-shirt trailer, we'll take care of you. You'll get your money.
You could never, I never once thought when I go to that pay window I wasn't going to get paid because I knew I was with Bert.
That speaks volumes there, Frank.
It is, because I've been to places where you had to chase the guy down and threaten him for his life to get your money, but we never did with Bert. And it was a first-class operation all the time.
Well, I'm glad you miss Ohio. It's good to see you and your wife and your new grandson and your daughter and son-in-law here with you.
Yeah, they are. And like I said, I appreciate everybody, and it's great to be back.
Frank Kerr, everybody, 4-time All-Star champion. Dean Jacobs, who ran with the All-Stars many years. You and I are the same age. We kind of called Bert and Brigitte Grandma and Grandpa, didn't we?
We just respected them, that's for sure, because they did a lot for us, and we were the little snot-nosed kids running around and watching all these guys. I thought they were old, but we're right there with them now. It's getting a little rough.
But, you know, Bert and Brigitte, Speed Week, how many years you did that? You tried to make a living driving a sprint car and all that good stuff. Speed Week is grueling. Now you're out here with your son.
This is way harder than working with my kids, a little harder than driving them. And I didn't realize how easy it was to show up and drive the race car, but now I'm the one that gets my butt chewed every night, and I got to do all the work.
Well, that means you graduated.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if that's graduating or just asking for trouble.
Favorite Speed Week memory?
Right here, I won the Speed Week final here with Denny and Bev Ashworth in the 92 car. God, I don't know what year it was, but it was a long time ago, and that was probably my favorite one. And then I won the Speed Week championship one time with Rick Doherty, which was pretty awesome. I always loved Speed Week. Everybody, as drivers, we like to race every night, every week, but when you can do it 7, 8 nights in a row, it's pretty awesome.
Dean Jacobs, another one of Bert and Bridgette's kids, so to speak. Lisa Hammer, you guys, you have stayed so close with Bert and Brigitte and their family. I keep hearing that from everybody that's been associated with the All-Stars when they had it. Everybody's family with them.
Absolutely, Brian. You know, you and I grew up at these racetracks, and Bert and Brigitte is the true spirit of grassroots racing. And they brought to the racers an organization that could travel all over the country and compete with many of the best drivers in a lot of different states. And they did a lot for underprivileged drivers that got hurt. They started an injured drivers fund, and it was a lot of fun to work with them and see them in operation and see their heartache also on nights that it would rain out and a driver drove so far to race. So I'm so excited you all came out tonight to honor them. It's been 20 years since we got them back in the Buckeye State, and they're enjoying the day. Thank you, Attica Raceway Park.
Lisa Hammer. Oh, and we couldn't do a Bert and Brigitte Emick salute without talking to the queen of Ohio racing, Shirley Care. Shirley, you were there when the All-Stars started.
Well, I was there for the original ones even.
In 1970.
Yes, I was. I was there for sure. But I tell you, Bridget in charge and going to all the racetracks, we were the racetrack truck. And we always loved it. We always looked forward to it. And they're awesome. You people really need to appreciate what Bert and Brigitte has done. I do, because it really helped my business.
Well, the All-Stars wouldn't be around. They would not be around without Bert and Brigitte.
That is for sure. It would not. And it just kept getting better. Now it's really going good. And I just really appreciate them. And I'm glad I'm retired like they are.
You aren't retired. She comes around Kerr Speed Shop there in Tiffin all the time. Shirley Care, everybody, a National Sprint Car Hall of Fame member as well. And now the guest of honor, Bert and Brigitte. Come on out. Turn around here, Bert, so they can see your lovely face. What did you always call your wife?
The big blonde.
The big blonde, yes. Yeah, and she looks just like she did last time I saw her, probably 20 years ago. She's white instead of blonde, aren't we all? Yeah, I color my hair too, you know. Bert, at the driver's meeting, you said, you know, you gave it up because you were getting older. If you were a young man, you'd still be doing this. Did you really mean that?
Yeah, I did.
You know, all these guys calling you guys family. You were mom and pops to them, and you took care of your guys. You and I have talked many times over the years, and you viewed them as your family. You took care of these guys on the road.
Yeah, we tried to help everybody we could. Honestly, we did. You can ask Shirley Cares. Bridget used to, she'd come to the T-shirt trailer, and she'd say, Bert bought 2 tires, Shirley. So Bridget would have to pay her for the tires, and that happened a good many times. But I always felt bad for the little guy, and when the little guy made the show a chance to make some money, then we helped out all we could. I mean, we did.
Well, that was the whole premise of you restarting the All-Stars, was to give the weekend warrior a chance to go to a track and make some good money for a change.
Yeah, it was, and most people probably don't understand what drove me, but my dad was a sprint car fan, and I sat in a midget when I was 6 months old, so it was in my blood. Although I never drove a sprint car, I always wanted to, but.
And not a bad career for somebody. I think you started out as a photographer, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Well, that's what Dad did. So I followed in his footsteps.
And now you're in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, well-deserved. You helped create the Speed Week thing 40 years ago. Kind of talk about that. You, Earl Baldus, and some other promoters sat down and started this thing.
Yeah, it was an idea we had after talking to one of the local racers. It was Rick Ferkel. And Rick had come off the outlaw trail, and him and Jimmy Darley, had not done as well, or he said it's getting tougher to make money, and that's when I got to thinking, why don't we run some big races in Ohio and give the fans a chance to see different racers. So when I talked to the first, I think it was 5 promoters, they were all favorable. So we put the thing together and ran the first year under the name of MOS, Midwest Outlaw Super Series. And then one of the promoters made so much money, he stole the name. Believe it or not, that's what happened. So then, Bud Miller had run the All-Star Circuit Champions years ago, back in the 60s. And I said, well, why don't we just use his name? I know Bud real well, And so he put a board of directors together with him and Gene Lynch, myself, Bridget, Bill Moore, who's a late model fan, and Earl Baldus. And I knew with Baldus on the board, we weren't going to get screwed.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, in that time, I think Earl owned 5 or 6 racetracks, it seems like.
Right. So it was the right move to make, and he supported us the whole time we were there, and actually liked me, believe it or not.
Yeah. That's an accomplishment in itself, Bert, when you get Earl Baldus to say you're a friend. No, honestly, Earl was just a wonderful man, and like you, promoted racing. Any regrets over the years with the All-Stars?
No, I don't. I can't think of any of it. I told somebody a little while ago I dream about it sometimes at night, and if I had it to do over again, I really would.
That means you lived a pretty good, successful life. Bridget, I'm going to talk to you for a second. This man drugged you all over the country, and you sat in a T-shirt trailer many, many, many nights. Would you change anything?
I wouldn't change doing things with him and for him. Racing wasn't my thing, but Bert was, and that's why I did it. I wanted to support him, and he felt it so deeply, and he cared about it so much. I just had to stick with him and help him do it, and we did for 23 years.
That's a lot of miles, a lot of bad food, a lot of bad food, fast food, a lot of heartbreak, but a lot of joy. You got to see a lot of drivers and their families experience the joy of winning and experience that great feeling.
Yeah, and I'd like to say something about the women, the wives, the mothers, the sisters, the daughters, who supported the men in their lives, for whom racing was the most important thing. And the women put up with sleepless nights and not much money because you needed new tires or, something. And the women are a big part of the backbone of racing. I really believe that.
That is very well said. Bert, one more question, let you go. Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Well, I just wanted to tell everyone I've been, in the 23 years I did the All-Stars, I went to approximately 1,500 races. And this is the first All-Star race I've been to where I had my ass chewed out about something.
Now you ain't over yet, Bert.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You were a heck of a golfer. Do you still golf?
What?
That's what I heard.
You heard wrong. I was a terrible golfer. But no, I don't anymore. I had a little bit of arthritis, like you get when you get a little older. But I do have a hot rod, and that's my pastime. I got a 32 Ford coupe that I've had for several years, and we go to car shows, and it gives me something to shine in the garage, and that's my day, just doing that kind of thing.
Well, that's fantastic. A life well lived, a life well deserved. Thank you, both of you, for what you've done for racing in your life. And none of us would be here tonight if it wasn't for Bert and Brigitte Emick. Scott Hall, I'm going to give you the final say. Come on out here. Scott Hall handled the PR work for the All-Stars under Bert and Brigitte. You said this first time back at racetrack in 17 years?
Yeah, it sure is. Once I retired from the All-Stars, I made a clean break from racing, and this is my first time back, and, you know, it sure is exciting.
We were reminiscing up in the scoring tower. Scott and I are, you know, we've been around this. I've been around it 38 years in announcing part of it and writing part of it. We used to haul manual typewriters up there with carbon paper, and that's how we did our race results.
Yep, that's how we did it, and then we had to fax it out to 30 or 40 racing papers, so it took another hour or two of faxing. So
yeah, none of these emails things, right?
No. Right when I quit, we were just starting emails, which made it a whole lot easier.
Scott, you worked with Bert and Brigitte a lot, and you had a really close relationship with them. I want you to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, they were always a lot of fun to work for, and what I really liked was the way they took care of the drivers. You know, like everybody said, if a guy needed gas money to get to the next track or money for a tire, why they would help him out. So that was really the main thing that treated everybody well.
Scott Hall, thank you for everything you've done. I know Blake Anderson appreciates it as he's compiling the All-Star history there. Hey, everybody get up on your feet. Let's give them a round of applause. Bert and Brigitte Emick